Namaste everyone. In today's session I am going to discuss about the ledger. So in this session our agenda is to discuss what is the ledger, what exactly the ledger, what are the advantages of the ledger. I will be explaining you what exactly the format of ledger, what about the posting of the ledger, and we will be solving one problem which is related to ledger calculations. Now I am explaining you what is the definition of the ledger and what is the meaning of the ledger. Ledger, what happens? Whenever after recording the transactions in the journal, as we have recorded the journals in the last class, after recording the transactions in the journal, whatever the recorded entries we have, those recorded entries are classified and grouped into a kind of thing by preparing of accounts and book, which contains all set of accounts that might be a personal, that may be a real, that may be a nominal, whatever it might be, all combined together is called as ledger. What exactly? After recording the transactions in the journal, recorded entries are classified or grouped into by preparation of accounts, and the book which contains all set of accounts, that may be a personal might be a nominal, it might be a real, whatever it might be, all together it is called as ledger. And the main important thing is ledger is also known as principal book of account. Ledger is also known as principal book of account, in which account wise balance of each account is determined. So altogether ledger is nothing but it is all kind of set of accounts which are maintained after recording the transactions in the journal. Now I am going to explain you the format of ledger. How the format of ledger will be. Generally for the ledger we have the two sides. One is left hand side and another is right hand side. So in the left hand side is known as the debit side and right side is known as credit side. Whatever it might be. The words DR and CR used to denote debit and credit. DR represents the debit side, CR represents the credit side. The name of the account is mentioned in the top, middle of the account. Or the name of the account will be mentioned on the top, that is on the middle of the account. In example, I have written in the bracket Rajeshwari account. The date of the transaction is recorded in the date column. The date of the transaction will be recorded in the date column of the debit side or the credit side. The word to will be used before the accounts which appear on the debit side of an account in a particular column. Whatever the item which appears on the particulars of the debit side in the ledger, we will be using the word to. Similarly, the word by is used before the accounts which appear on the credit side of the account in a particular column. I hope you are very clear. The word is to be used in the particulars which are appearing on the debit side. By will be used to the items which will be appearing on credit side. Whatever the name of the other accounts which is affected by the transaction is written either on the debit side or credit side in the particulars column. Whatever the account name which will be affected by the transaction is written either in the debit side or credit side in the particular item of the respective side. The page number of the journal or subsidiary book from where that particular entry is transferred is entered into the JF, journal folio column. See, the next to the particulars we have J by F. Journal folio. Journal folio represents the page number of the journal or subsidiary book where the particular entry is transferred, from where the particular entry is transferred is entered into the journal folio column. Okay, so whatever the amount pertaining to this account is entered in the amount column. I hope you are very clear. The amount pertaining to this account is entered into the amount column. Once again I am coming back. In ledger we have two sides. One is left hand side and another is right hand side. In the left hand side it is called debit side of the ledger. In the right hand side it is called credit side of the ledger. So the word DR represents the debit side and CR represents the credit side. The name of the account is mentioned in the top middle of the account. Name of the account is mentioned on the top middle of the account. The date of the transaction is recorded in the date column. Either it may be on the debit side or it may be on the credit side. The word the word to is used before the accounts which appear on the debit side of an account in a particular column. Similarly, the word by is used before the accounts which is appearing on credit side of an account in a particular column. Okay. Whatever the name of the other account which is affected through the transaction is written either on the debit side or credit side in the particulars column. Whatever it might be, whatever the item which will be affected with the particular transaction will be entered either on the debit side or credit side in the particular column. The page number of the journal or subsidiary book from where the particular entry has been transferred, it will be entered into the journal folio column. So whatever the amount pertaining to the account, is entered in the amount column of the debit side or credit side. I hope you are very clear with the format of ledger. It is quite very easy and it is very common and it is really very important and it is a very common thing. Every organization maintains different ledgers in their accounting system. Now with this we have done with the format of ledger. Next we are moving to advantages of ledger. What are the advantages of ledger? Now the first advantage is complete information at a glance. So whatever the information, all the transactions what are pertaining to any account are collected at one place in the ledger. So by looking at the balance of the account, one can understand the collective effect of all such transactions in the glance, whatever it might be. By looking into the ledger, one can understand the balance of an account, one can understand the collective effect of all the such transactions at a glance. I hope you are very clear. So we will be getting a complete information at a glance. One can easily understand the effect of collectiveness of all such transactions at a glance. So we will be entering a lot of transactions in the debit side or credit side. So by seeing the ledger, we can ascertain the balance figure. So next advantage is arithmetical accuracy. So what? With the help of ledger balances, trial balance is prepared to know the arithmetical accuracy of accounts. So what happens? So whenever we want to prepare the trial balance, the balance amount in the ledger balances will be used to prepare the trial balance. So third advantage is result of business operations. It facilitates the preparation of final accounts for ascertaining the operating result and the financial position of the business concern. The ledger will facilitate the organization to prepare the final accounts for what? For ascertaining the operating result. By operating this business, what is the amount of profit? What is the sequence of profit we are earning? So we can evaluate and ascertain by using the ledgers. And even we can ascertain the financial position of the business concern. What is the financial position of the business concern as of the date? We can ascertain by using the ledger balances. Next, the fourth advantage is accounting information. Whatever it might be, the data supplied by the various ledger accounts are summarized, analyzed, and interpreted for obtaining various accounting informations. Whatever the data supplied by the various ledger accounts. For example, in the ledger we have a lot of accounts like sales account, purchase returns account, personal Ramu account, Somu account, Purna account, drawings account, expenses account, whatever kind of we can say stationery expenses account. So whatever the ledger accounts. So various data supplied by the various ledger accounts are summarized, analyzed, and interpreted by obtaining various accounting informations. So we have them. So we had already discussed with advantages of ledger. So once we can revise the advantages of ledger. The first advantage is complete information at the glance. Second one is arithmetical accuracy. Third one is result of business operations, and fourth one is accounting information. Now we are discussing about posting. What exactly the meaning of posting? Posting is nothing but, as mentioned, the process of transferring the entries recorded in the journal or subsidiary books to the respective accounts opened in the ledger is called posting. So what happens? In ledger generally we open a lot of accounts which are pertaining to different transactions in the business. So the process of transferring the entries, whatever the entries we passed in the journal earlier, the process of transforming those entries to the respective accounts opened in the ledger is called as posting. Posting is nothing but it is a simple method of transferring the entries recorded in the journal or subsidiary books to the respective accounts opened in the ledger is called as posting. I hope you are clear with the posting. Now, so posting alone doesn't make sense. There are some amount of rules. There are certain rules which are really to be followed while posting. So first rule is opening of separate account. First of all, for every transaction we have to open separate account. This is the first rule. Second rule is posting journal entry to concerned side. So one debit item cannot be transferred to the credit side of the different item. Debit item should be transferred to the debit side and the credit item should be debited to the credit side itself. You are not supposed to transfer to different sides. So posting journal entry to concerned side. So next, rule number 3, use of words to and by. We have to use the words to and by. To will be used in the debit side of trial balance and by will be used in the credit side of trial balance as we mentioned earlier. Fourth one, balance in account. What does it mean? What is the balance in account? So we will be entering the transactions in the left hand side, that is debit side, and right hand side, that is credit side of the ledger accounts. So whatever the difference in the totals of the two sides. So for example, the credit side of certain account in the ledger has more value. The total of the credit side of particular account has more value compared to the debit side of the particular account in the ledger. Then whatever the difference is, the balancing figure will be recorded in the debit side. So whichever the part we have the less amount of the total value, the balancing figure will be recorded in that particular side. I hope you are very clear, right? So all these things we can see practically in upcoming problem. Now we are proceeding with the problem which is related to ledger. So let us start the problem. Journalize the following transactions post in the ledger. First of all, we have to journalize the following transactions. So we have to pass the journal entries for the following transactions and then after we have to post in the ledger. I hope you are understanding. On January 1st, first transaction. On January 1st, we have Vijayalakshmi commenced business with rupees 40,000 cash and also brought into business furniture worth rupees 5,000, motor car worth rupees 12,000 and stock valued at rupees 20,000. So what do you think? Vijayalakshmi commenced business with the rupees 40,000 cash and also brought into business furniture worth rupees 5,000, motor car worth rupees 12,000 and stock valued at rupees 20,000. So now we have to pass the journal entry. Yes. Now let us start the problem. So on January 1, we have the transaction here. Vijayalakshmi commenced business with rupees 40,000 cash and brought into the business furniture rupees 5,000, motor car worth rupees 12,000 and stock valued at rupees 20,000. So total is 40,000, 45,000, 50,000, 57,000, 77,000. So total 77,000 worth of products, that goods we received towards our business. So what is the journal entry? Generally, whenever a person proprietor commences a business, what is the journal entry? If we bring some amount of amount as a capital, journal entry is cash account debit to capital account. Is it very clear? As since cash is coming in, so Apart from cash, we are receiving some assets here like business furniture worth rupees 50,000, motor car rupees 12,000, stock valued at rupees 20,000. So, furniture, motor car and stock, all this part of real accounts. So, as per the real account, what is the golden rule? Debit what comes in, credit what goes out. So, all these are coming in or going out, everything are coming in. So, we have to debit all the items. So, what is the journal entry? Cash account debit. Cash account debit. So, what is the amount of cash? It's 40,000. 40,000. Still what we are getting in? Business furniture. Business furniture. Account debit. How much amount? Furniture value is 5,000. 5,000. We are getting motor car even. Motor car account debit. How much? It's 12,000. And stock, here we are getting some amount of stock account debit is 20,000. So total 77,000 value we are getting towards our capital. So to Vijayalakshmi capital account. Okay, it's about 77,000. I hope you are very clear with this, right? So being, what is it? What is the narration? Being bought towards capital. Okay, this is a narration. Very clear with cash account, since we are debiting cash account, business furniture account, motor car account and stock accounts. Why all these are part of real accounts? As per the real account, we have to debit what comes in, credit what goes out. So all these items are coming into the business. So we are debiting these items. I hope you are very clear, right? The next transaction is deposited into Andhra Bank. Deposited into Andhra Bank. What happens? Whenever we deposit into the bank, cash will go out of the organization, our bank balance increases. So bank account increases. Bank itself a personal account. So bank account is receiving or giving? It is receiving. So as per the personal account, what is the golden rule? Debit the receiver and credit the giver. Since bank account is the receiving here, we have to debit the bank account. So it's on January 3rd. Andhra Bank account debit. Since cash is going out of organization, right? So we are crediting. Cash is part of real account. As per the real account, what goes out we have to credit. Cash account. So what is the amount? It's 38,000. 38,000. We have to pass the narration. Being deposited into bank. Okay. The next transaction. On January 5. Bought goods on credit from Balakrishna. Bought goods on credit from Balakrishna. So we purchased the goods from Balakrishna. So Balakrishna here, he is a creditor. Since we are obliged, we are liable to pay amount for Balakrishna worth of rupees 9,000. Okay. So what is the general entry? What is the journal entry for cash sales? Sorry, cash purchases. It's purchase account debit to cash account. Since we are not paying cash here, we have to credit the creditor. Who is the creditor here? Balakrishna account. So journal entry will be like on January 5. On January 5, purchases account debit to Balakrishna account. What is the amount? Rupees 9,000. I hope, is it visible to you? It's rupees 9,000. Being goods bought on credit from Balakrishna. Okay, goods from Balakrishna. Next transaction. Sold goods to Galla Jayadev on credit. Sold goods to Galla Jayadev on credit, rupees 6,000. We sold the goods on credit, so we didn't receive the cash. What is the journal entry for cash sales? Cash account debit to sales account. Since we didn't receive the cash, we have to debit the debtor. Who is the receiver of the goods? Yes, he is the Galla Jayadev. So we have to debit the receiver. Galla Jayadev is a personal account. As per the personal account, debit the receiver, credit the giver. So we are debiting Galla Jayadev. I hope you are very clear with this. Okay. January 6th. Galla Jayadev account debit to sales account. It's 6,000 rupees. 6,000 rupees. What is the narration? Being goods sold on credit to Galla Jayadev. Next transaction. We are going to next transaction. Next transaction is purchase stationery from Devineni Brothers for cash, rupees 200.